Hey there, good morning. This is Mathia Ford with Wildcat Brain Management, and today I'm going to talk about market research methods that really get you results. So when you think about doing market research for your products, you probably think first of all of creating a customer avatar. Customer avatar is a description of the details about your ideal customer, but I'm here to tell you today that that's not the only thing you should do, and as a matter of fact, it's one of the things you should do, but it's not the only thing that you can do that will improve your market research. So what we're talking about is looking into things that your customers are wanting to buy, things your customers are interested, ways that you can improve your sales. So first of all, you should analyze your data. So what data do you have? You have an email list, and you can use providers like Tower Data who will take your email list, they will gather the information, and they will give you back, obviously at a cost, your details about your customers on the list, how much money they make, like demographics. You also have Google Analytics, you have your question and answers that your customers have asked, you have your reviews on your products. So just look at all your data and see what pops, what's coming out, what's really showing up as something that seems like it needs to be addressed. Listen to your customers. So consider hosting a live Q&A session. Again, look through your customer reviews, look through your customer questions, ask your customer service reps, kind of keep a pulse on what are the most frequently asked questions, what things are people looking for. When you go into the market, you can look and see what your customers are doing and what they're asking for. So make sure you're doing that as part of your market research. Build rapport with your customers. So it's really important to connect with them and to know what they want and to really speak their language, to really get connected with them. So building rapport is things like going into Facebook groups and talking to them. It's announcing that you're going to do something, talking to them in email. It's and the rapport is two ways. So it's really showing that you're listening to what they're saying. So when they reply to an email that you've asked a question on, if you send out an email and you ask a question and they've replied, that you're replying back to that and you're letting them know, hey, I hear your voice, and connecting with them. Doing things like special events in the community can help build rapport because they can really see that you support the same causes that they do. Learn your customer's language. So this is so funny. Learning what your customers speak, what they call things, what they say, and how terminology they use. So a funny story, when I was in the Army, when I was a dietetic intern, we started with one of our big projects was to do a Thanksgiving dinner. So I grew up in Kansas, and Thanksgiving dinner was always at night. So I'm going along and helping prepare and doing my part and doing all that. We were doing the decorations and stuff. And at some point, I said to someone, this is, going to be kind of late. Are we sure we should really do that? And they said, no, this is at lunch. This is, at dinner time. And my language was dinner was supper. And there, in that terminology, in that process, Thanksgiving dinner was lunch. So I've learned to not use the word dinner too much. But it's one of those things where it's a language thing. So you could be communicating to your customers the complete wrong information, wrong message. So make sure you know their language and you're speaking to them in their language. Understanding what your customers' values are. So understanding things that they think are important. If you're a company and you promote things, you promote events, you promote you're going to help with customers, support a group, like maybe if you support PETA, then that's going to be a different customer value than if you didn't support that group, if you supported like a zoo or a rescuing harmed animals type thing. So all of that, just remember when you're doing your mission and values that you're knowing what your customers' values are, and you are supporting them in those, because that helps to engender them to you, but it also helps you to know kind of what level, what next things to do. The more you can do this, knowing your customers and in their market is going to help you. Just your brain is just going to be overflowing with market research ideas. Conduct regular client research. Don't just research once and expect it to be done. Kind of make it an ongoing process. Maybe you have a monthly day where you go through and look at all the Facebook groups. You should probably do that on a weekly basis, but you kind of conglomerate it together and have like a general day of the month where you look at all your Google Analytics, look at the keywords people are looking for, look at the demographics you can get from Google Analytics, running your email information. You look at all your surveys, you look at all your sales reports, and just in general, keeping up to date with that is going to help you to do it on a regular basis instead of kind of willy-nilly, like whenever it is time to create a new product. Because you always need to be in that mental development process. When you're always thinking about what things do my customers need, your brain goes to work on that and you start coming up with ideas. I told my sister an idea I had last night, and because I know she's great at coming up with new ideas. And I told her the idea, and 10 minutes later, she texted me with like 3 great ideas, because we talked it through. We talked about a bunch of stuff, and she sees the world in a completely different way than I do. And she had some really great suggestions for me. So doing that on a regular basis really can help you. Putting yourself in your customer's place. So you might have started this journey, this venture as a member of your audience. Maybe you created a solution to solve your own problem. But what you need to realize is that you are no longer your customer. You have a different view, whether you still have the same problem or not, you have a different view of it because you're now a business owner and you see it with all the marketing and market research and all that stuff behind it. You don't see it as purely a problem. So you really need to see that when you create your avatars, that you're creating them so you're describing that problem in detail. You're talking about what they feel like. You're explaining the way that it works in their life, so that anybody coming in and working on this, whether they're part of that audience or not, can get a real gut feeling for how the customer is feeling and what they're doing. Okay, study your competitors. I didn't say copy them. I said study them. You need to look at what they're doing. You need to look at where they're going. That can give you a lot of market research information. I actually have spent a long time working in a field where in kidney disease, there's very little competition for online, and it really made it difficult at times because I didn't have a lot of competition to look at to compare what I was doing. So I was really always struggling a little bit because it was I was always coming up with new ideas and kind of testing. So I would encourage you to look at your competition, consider your competition a great resource, and do your best to kind of go with watch what they're doing. If they're doing something and you completely disagree with it, that's an opportunity for you to stand out to your customers and show them that you have different values and you have different thoughts on what's going on. So not only following your competition, you can see where they're going, but you can also have an opportunity to show your customers, hey, we're not going in that direction because we don't like that. Learn your customer's buyer's journey. So thinking about a buyer's journey, that's, awareness, and then kind of asking the questions, and then finding the solution, and then really digging into the solution. So as they go down that journey, that avatar changes. So the person that is looking at awareness is got a completely different set of questions, a set of issues and problems than the person that's pretty sure they're going to decide between your product and maybe a competitor's. So they already know that they're going to buy, but they haven't decided which. So those two avatars are completely different. You're talking to them differently. So as you go through your buyer's journey, make sure you're doing things for people in each level of the buyer's journey, in each step of the process. Create an ideal customer avatar, not just one. So I know I said that's not the beginning and end. It is something you need to do. But you need to possibly create 3, 4, 5 of them, because you may have, like I said, different points in their journey. And also you may have a couple different customers. If you sell to stay-at-home moms with 1 child versus 5 children, or are there stay-at-home moms who need your solution who live in the north versus the south? Is there 2 different processes for that? Is it single dads? Is it married dads? And you may solve that problem for both of those people, but you're going to speak to those people differently. A single guy, you're going to talk to differently than you're going to talk to a husband, different than you're going to talk to someone who is a dad and a husband. So think about all those different customers. Certainly start with one, get started. But know that you need to build out kind of those layers and who are all those bigger categories. Now, 80-20 rule says that 80% of your customers are going to be, from 20% of your effort. So you really need to kind of hone in on what's your most critical avatar that you're really targeting. But you do need to have those other ones, because as you build, they will grow. So, reaching your target market is one of the best things that you can do when you're doing market research, and that's what you're really trying to achieve, is figuring out how to reach your target market and give them the solution to the problem that they have, not the product that you have. So you're really trying to build this relationship. You're getting to know your customers, you're knowing their journey, you're researching what they're doing, you're paying attention to the things that they care about. And when you truly kind of meld with that and do that market research, you're going to be super successful, because you will have so many different ideas and ways to go with your product. You may have to spend some time narrowing down your ideas. Wildcat Brand Management can help you with that. So Amazon is a huge e-commerce platform, but brands can have a problem breaking through the noise. At Wildcat Brand Management, we manage your Amazon account from A to Z so that you can get back to running your business and making more money. So contact us if you're interested in our help with Amazon, and we also do lots of other services. So we'd love to have you and have us schedule a conversation and talk about what you need. Thanks.